What is going on, everybody? Thammagotcha here, and welcome into the Fantasy Cup. This is a 1500 CP Cup where only Dragon, Fairy, and Steel types are allowed. I went on a PV poke and I checked it out. What is the best lead, the best safe swap, and the best closer? And here we go, Lucario, the best lead. The best switch is going to be Galarian Stunfisk, and the closer is going to be Registeel. And I went on an absolute tear with this team. So let's hop into these battles here and check it out. So shiny Lucario coming in here to start against a Mawile, and we're getting a massive amount of lag. My goodness gracious, that is absolutely insane. Blaze Kick gonna be coming in, that gets the shield. I'm trying to swap out, but they're going to be going for a power-up punch because Fire Fang does not generate energy quickly, but what it does is do massive damage against my steel types, and this is unfortunate for me. Going for a Rock Slide because the Mawile is pretty low, and the Mud Shots plus the Rock Slide should be able to knock it out. They go for the shield, and I'm going to shield back here. Going to be another power-up punch, unfortunately, but we get to the Rock Slide right before we go down. You love to see it, everybody. Rock Slide takes care of the Mawile. What wants to come in? It's an Azumarill, and we got the Registeel for the Azumarill, and the opponent is not swapping out here. Just got to make sure they can't catch. So I'm going to throw it in between their bubbles here. Zap Cannon going to do massive damage. Going to farm up just a little bit more. Catch what hopefully is the Hydro Pump on the Lucario, which we did. You love to see it. Now we're going to be farming up energy, making sure they don't catch. And here comes a Registeel. We have residual energy from making sure we did not throw the Zap Cannon onto the Registeel, which should allow us to outpace to the next Focus Blast. And this Focus Blast, left, right, good night, Registeel. And we are easily going to be able to get to this Zap Cannon before they reach 2 Hydro Pumps. First Hydro Pump's going to get shielded, and this Zap Cannon is going to take care of the Azumarill. We could even went for a Focus Blast, but Zap Cannon it is. See you later, Azumarill. That's going to be a good game. Well played to my opponent here. Hopping into the next matchup. Whimsicott lead. So fairy winds are going to be neutral due to our steel fighting typing, but Blaze Kick is going to hit for massive super effective damage if it lands, which it does, almost one-shotting the grass fairy type. Woo, you love to see it. Shielding up the Moonblast, out comes a Galarian Stunfisk, and my opponent is core broken by the Lucario. Blaze Kick coming in, that gets shielded as well. Gonna shield up what is probably just gonna be the Rock Slide here, and hopefully we're gonna be able to outpace to the Blaze Kick, which we are. CMP tie, everybody. Blaze Kick going to be getting that second shield, and all we have to do is come in with the Galarian Stunfisk, but my opponent decides to quit the match anyways, and that's gonna be a good game. Well played to my opponent. Lucario tearing apart that team. So hopping into the next matchup here, Alolan Sandslash lead, you love to see it. They're gonna hop into a Slurpuff, and I kind of make a misplay here, and I come into my Registeel. What I should have done is maybe chipped it a bit with the Blaze Kick, because I totally forgot this thing had Flamethrower, and Flamethrower is gonna hit for super effective damage. 2 is going to be enough to knock out, but not after that debuff. After that debuff, we should be able to survive this Flamethrower, but I want to keep alignment here, keep my Lucario on that Alolan Sandslash, so I will shield up that move. Gonna go for another Zap Cannon, not enough to one-shot. You see, if I just would have went for the Blaze Kick, then one Zap Cannon would have been enough to take care of this Slurpuff, but unfortunately it is what it is. Gonna be able to go on that CMP tie here up to the Focus Blast. I don't want to shield just to preserve switch, which is unfortunate, but I decided to come in with my Galarian Stunfisk. We hop into our Lucario, and they have a Azumarill in the back. So I'm gonna go for the double close combat here. Maybe I should have went for the Blaze Kick, then the double close combat, just so we preserve some health a bit, and then I could have possibly done some more damage and gotten to a couple moves here with my Galarian Stunfisk. But if they have Hydro Pump, this game is for sure over. Gonna no shield just in case they want to bait with the Play Rough, but Hydro Pump hits for massive super effective damage, and I can't go for Rock Slide because Rock Slide is not going to be doing enough to KO this bulky Azumarill. I'll have to go for the Earthquake, and I just hope that I'm going to be able to survive until my next one, but unfortunately we cannot. That's going to be a good game. Well played to my opponent. So terrible lead here. Azumarill into Lucario. All moves are going to be resisted, so I hop into my Galarian Stunfisk. They hop into the Lucario. This was too fast for a Blaze Kick, so I'm just going to no shield the power up punch. Go for one more, making sure I have the Earthquake energy, baiting with the Rock Slide, getting that shield. You love to see it. Hopefully we get to another one, which we do, and if we get both shields, that would be perfect, but they know it's not an Earthquake, so they decided to no shield that. Gonna come back in with my Lucario, shield once, farm all the way down, just so I preserve some health here on my Lucario. and I don't really want to get it too low because I'm thinking there might be a Registeel in the back. So out comes the Azumarill, gonna farm up 4 counters and then go for the close combat. Close combat does nice damage, putting it into Zap Cannon range, and my opponent's not swapping out. I'm gonna shield here just in case it's a Hydro Pump. That would do a lot of damage, but they bait me with the Play Rough. That is quite unfortunate. Gonna throw 2 lock-ons in between their bubbles just to make sure they don't sneak a full one and they can't catch, but it's a Skarmory in the back, so it really didn't matter if they caught or not because Zap Cannon would do massive damage on this Skarmory. We even get the attack fall, so 2 Brave Birds would not have been enough to KO the Registeel, but my opponent concedes the match anyways. Good game, well played. Hopping into the next matchup here, Flygon into Lucario. So Flygon is so glassy that we are just going to be able to counter all the way down. I'm going to 2-shield my Lucario, counter this Flygon all the way down, and then have a loaded energy for whatever wants to come in. But my opponent decides to come in with the Azumarill, and we reach the Zap Cannon before they get to the Hydro Pump. If you swap soon enough, you should be able to. And if we get the attack fall, this Hydro Pump is not going to do nearly enough damage to threaten. Look at that. Still in the green. Registeel's an absolute beast. So what I'm going to do here is throw the Focus Blast here. I'm going to try to undercharge it, but I don't undercharge it enough. We take out the Azumarill with the Focus Blast, unfortunately, and we get to the Focus Blast as soon as they reach the CMP tie. Scorching Sands gonna be enough to knock us out. Gonna come in with the Lucario, shield once, farm all the way down, and let's see what they want to bring in. In comes a Registeel, and we have so many Blaze Kicks locked and loaded for this thing. Gonna throw a couple more counters, then the next Blaze Kick, and if they want to shield this, then I'm just gonna go for the Wham Bam combo. Close combat, not combo. Close combat to knock this thing out. Left, right, good night. Lucario coming in clutch. Farm down the Flygon, and that's going to be a beautiful 4-1 set here to start the video off. Don't go anywhere because we got another set for anybody. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do because it really helps out the channel. And it is greatly appreciated. So hopping into this matchup, Lucario mirror matchup, we're just gonna counter each other all the way down. I decided to come into my Registeel. I thought I was clicking the Stunfisk, but unfortunately I clicked the swap button and it swapped me into my Galarian Stunfisk. So, but they decided to hop out into their Altaria, which is kind of strange. I'm guessing they're trying to catch the Earthquake, but I didn't want to throw. I was holding my energy, and now we have a boatload of energy for this Altaria. And then we have the Registeel on the Azumarill, so I'm just going to farm up some more energy, make sure I can get to an Earthquake before we get knocked out, and I kind of want to delay the switch clock timer so I can come back in to my Registeel. Gonna shield the first one because they did farm up a bunch of energy here, but they bait us with the Play Rough, which is fine because now I'm going to be able to reach this Zap Cannon before they reach their Hydro Pump here. Zap Cannon hopefully can get that debuff, and we do. You love to see it. Gonna shield up this move too. Hopefully our next Zap Cannon is going to debuff them as well. And a Hydro Pump is going to be doing nothing to us. So Zap Cannon coming in. This is going to do massive damage onto that Azumarill, and we get a second attack drop. So all I have to do here is get to a third Zap Cannon. Hydro Pump's not going to do much of anything at this point. And Zap Cannon's going to put them into a range where I can swap into my Galarian Stunfisk and hit them with the Rock Slide. Zap Cannon, massive damage, combo play with the Rock Slide. And this Rock Slide is going to be taking care of that Azumarill, and that is going to be a good game well played to my opponent here. Ooh, hopping into the next matchup here, Lucario into Turtonator, gonna swap out right away. I know this thing has Incinerate, and Incinerate would absolutely eat my Lucario alive. So they decide to hop it into a Shiinotic, which I should have went for the Earthquake here, but no, Earthquake will be resisted. So Rock Slide is the way to go, making sure to throw 4 Mud Shots and then the Rock Slide for optimal fast move timing here. Gonna throw on not great move timing there, but that was a CMP tie, so it really didn't matter anyways. Moonblast, not enough to KO us. I wonder if the C-Bomb would have been more, but they decided to shield that up here to keep switch advantage, which is quite fine by me because now I'm gonna come in with my Lucario. I'm going to shield once, get the full farm down, just in case I go for the Moonblast. I didn't want to take that neutral damage, which would probably almost one-shot us. So I'm guessing I'm going to come back in with the Turtonator. I'm going to throw 2 counters and then the Blaze Kick. Blaze Kick is probably going to be getting that shield, and then I'm going to hop into my Registeel. I don't think this is the best of play. Sorry, I didn't think... You might not think this is the best of play considering we're a Steel type, but we can take these Incinerates better than the Lucario can. We reach the Focus Blast quite quick. Focus Blast, left, right, good night. Out comes a Registeel of all things. They reach the focus blast before we do, and now I have to hope and gosh almighty that I can reach this close combat before they reach their move, which we do. Close combat is going to be taking care of this Regiseal. Left, right, good night, and that's going to be a good game. Well played to my opponent there. So hopping into the next matchup. Again, a Zoomer lead, gonna hop out into my Stunfisk. Hopefully they swap out, and out comes a Turtonator. Gonna throw the Rock Slide here. Should have built up to the Earthquake because they know they can no shield this, but it is what it is. Gonna throw a couple more mud shots here, then throw the Rock Slide. Rock Slide is gonna be grabbing that shield. Then I'm just going to shield this move up, considering it might be the overheat, which it is. I'm gonna throw 2 more mud shots and then my next Rock Slide. I really do want to keep switch advantage here, which my opponent allows me to do, which is beautiful here. Now we can align our Registeel onto the Azumarill, but they come out with a Berserker. Can I get to the Earthquake? I cannot. Gonna settle for the Rock Slide. Rock Slide is going to not be doing a whole lot of damage, but Berserker is quite glassy, so it's going to allow me to possibly counter this thing all the way down. Going to shield up the close combat here. That would one-shot us. Out comes the Azumarill, in comes the Regiseal, and all I have to do is make it to 2 Zap Cannons, and I'm going to be able to take out this Azumarill, which it doesn't have Hydro Pump, which is going to be clutch for us. So his first Zap Cannon is going to be doing massive damage. No attack drop, which doesn't really matter. They only have resisted moves anyways, and I'm going to farm up as much energy as I can. Undercharge, completely undercharge the Focus Blast, but oh, I should have maybe did that a little bit more, but it is what it is. I can see my switch clock timer coming back up. I come in with my Lucario. We get the farm down, going for the Blaze Kick. I was gonna say Blast Burn, but Lucario doesn't get Blast Burn. Blaze Kick knocks out the Azumarill. That's gonna be a good game. Well played to my opponent. So hopping into the next matchup, another Azumarill lead. Again, gonna hop into my Stunfisk here, see what my opponent wants to do. They're gonna stay in for a little bit and then hop into a Mawile. So I'm gonna build up to the Earthquake here. I'm gonna throw the Rock Slide, hoping to grab that shield, which we do, which is perfect for us. And then I'm just going to no shield the Power Up Punch. It's gonna do super effective damage, but I don't really want to shield the Power Up Punch either because I'm gonna be losing switch either way. So I might as well take my shield advantage, get both shields down, and now Lucario and Regiseal should go to town. Should be shielding up this move here. I'm hoping I can get to a Blaze Kick before they knock me out, because these are double boosted Fire Fangs coming in hot, literally hot, melting Lucario, almost dead. But now out comes a Regiseal. Oh my goodness. Okay, this game is going to be really close here. Gonna shield up the Focus Blast. I don't think I would be able to survive to get to another Blaze Kick against the Regiseal, and a Blaze Kick wouldn't have been enough to KO us anyways. They just would have farmed me down and then got to 2 Focus Blasts before I got to maybe 1 against Regiseal versus Regiseal. But they get to the next Focus Blast before we do, because we had the 1 turn switch in. And now out comes the Azumarill. The Azumarill from here, I can't even go for the Zap Cannon to knock it out. Tried to go for a catch, but Zap Cannon wouldn't have been enough to one-shot it anyways. So very well played by my opponent here. They're going to take us out with the play rough. GG's onto them. On to the final matchup of the video. Lucario to Dragonair. This is a decent lead for us, but the resisted Dragon Breaths end up absolutely chunking anyways. So I'm gonna farm up some energy. They bring in an Escavalier, going for the Blaze Kick. This is gonna one-shot the Escavalier. Left, right, good night. You love to see it. If they shielded that, I was in big trouble, but I'm gonna hop into my Stunfisk. I'm gonna build up to the Earthquake and go for the Rock Slide. Gonna shield up the Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail does super effective damage, and I do want to preserve some health here. Rock Slide is going to put in some work, hopefully against the Dragonair, getting a shield. Nope. Unfortunately, they called that it was just a Rock Slide, and they don't shield that like a mad savage, but it is what it is. We get the shield with the next Rock Slide. I can no shield this. I can survive the Aqua Tail just fine, and then I can go for the Rock Slide, but they decided to catch on the Azumarill. Beautiful catch by my opponent, but that's not going to help them at all, as I come in with the Regiseal, and my opponent knows that the game is over, and that's going to be a good game. Well played to my opponent, and that's going to be another beautiful 4-1 set. So thank you all so very much for watching. If you guys are liking the content, please hit that like button, comment if you want to see anything in the future, and remember to hit that subscribe button because it's greatly appreciated and it really helps out the channel. And I will see everybody in the next video. Bye bye.